Let me get this straight real quick so y'all don't have to look at my screen there. There we go. All right. Looks like we got a grilling session today. You're going to have to teach some people a little bit of a lesson. Have to educate a few noobs or just, I can't think of a better word other than just complete spastics when it comes to the history and knowledge of college football. These two dimwits over on Locked On Sports, Drake Toll and what's this dude's name? I can't even remember his damn name. He's so irrelevant. But anyway, we'll see him in just a second. He's an Iowa State cyclone clown, whatever. Basically, they were saying that Oklahoma wanted to be back in the Big 12. Was what their title said. It was very much clickbait. Oklahoma has not made endeavors to get back in the Big 12. That's what they're good for, is clickbait. It makes me think that Locked On Sports don't screen these guys. Most of these guys are just young faces that sound good politically on the mic, so they put them out there. The guy that his name was Nick Maravitz. We'll see him on in just a second. This guy, everything he said was completely wrong factually. It's just, he wasn't even, it'd be different if he was telling a joke, but he wasn't kidding around when he said it. And he's like he was saying it in a matter of fact, factual tone that made him just look completely and utterly spastic. I mean, it almost reminds you of one of those, what's it called? A spastic bowel movement kind of deal. I mean, he was just shooting shit everywhere. And none of it was really sticking because everything about it was not factual. So I'm going to bring it up here in just a second. Killer Breeze may be joining us in a little bit. I did send him an invite. So we got people already up in here. Kevron Harris is the first batter up. He was in here today. He's Clemson Tiger. There he is. Kevron Harris is in the house. Screw Off is in the house. Comanche Sooners in the house, as well as Moose IXL. Is in the house. He's got his badge. He's deputized, as is Killer Breeze. And Corrections 101 is in the house. So, y'all ready to see this crap? Because it's pretty much done. And I'm going to play it real quick for y'all, and we're going to sort of pick it apart bit by bit and get y'all's idea and get what y'all think about this. I just need to know exactly. I mean, it got me so mad. I'm not even a complete Oklahoma fan. I do like Oklahoma, but everybody knows my first team's Alabama. But it just the stupidity of it enraged me. I just can't believe that Locked On Sports would hire these guys. So we'll go ahead and add Killer Breeze to the mix here. I'm fixing to pull up the video. I was just going on about I just don't understand how Locked On Sports screens these people before they hire them.
Man, it's
the guy.
It makes
the Iowa State guy was saying shit that was awful, man. Just stupid shit.
Yeah, man, it was pissing me off.
Shit. I mean, one of them. I'll go ahead and just give you an example. He was saying, "We really would like to have Oklahoma back, but we really don't need you back. But because every time we play them, we beat them anyway." I'm like, what? You know Iowa State's record against Oklahoma overall? These dudes don't know history outside of 20 years, I don't believe, man. Oklahoma is 80.
Well,
80 wins and only 7 losses against Iowa State.
Yeah, I have a few statistics for us tonight as well, but let's go ahead and watch the video first before we take care of business. I've been waiting for this for a little while.
First of all, their title is clickbait.
Absolutely.
It says Oklahoma's leaving the SEC, which they're not.
Absolutely.
That right out the gate, that's some bush league shit. Can y'all see that? Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Can you turn your volume up? You seem a little lower than normal, than usual.
What about now?
That's better.
Before we start, already this guy's got his head cocked to the left. I don't know what it is about this guy, man, but his head's always cocked to the left, man. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Drake Tool. Yeah, we're gonna get into Drake Tool here.
I call him Drake Stool because all he does, all that comes out of his mouth is complete and utter shit. It's like they're just they can't let go of Oklahoma and Texas, man. It's like they're stalkers almost. But let's get this started.
Nick Marabetts of Locked On Cyclones. Iowa State's been in the Big 12 for a long time. Oklahoma was too. And to shoot to straight, Oklahoma dominated the Big 12. And Texas did not. But when the two left, when they split, history happened. The Longhorns, who weren't good in the Big 12, won 13 games in the SEC. The Sooners almost missed a bowl game. The Sooners were bad last season. And now this year, for the first time since 1999, Oklahoma is not in the preseason coaches poll. Brent Venables has not been the answer. By the way, 6-7 Oklahoma, below 500 last year. Things have steadily gone downhill for Brent Venables. They are out of the coaches poll for the first time since 1999. Former national championship contender, perennial Big 12 winner. And then they bit off more than they could chew. They went to the mighty SEC to make a little bit more money. And you haven't spoken yet. And that's okay. I'm really, this is my soapbox first.
You got it.
Yeah. If you're an Oklahoma fan, if you're Dave from Ada, if you are Ryan from Bixby, if you are Carmen from Stillwater, or if you grew up in the conflict, we used to go on vacation to Ardmore, Oklahoma.
Ooh.
Gary from Ardmore. And your thought is, well, man, I love we're going to the SEC because we're going to make a whole lot more money. That's $20 million more dollars.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. And I'm going to go ahead and get your thoughts real quick, and then I'm going to give mine. So, have you got any thoughts so far?
I mean, other than this guy is a massive tool, hence the name Drake Tool. I mean, man, I don't even know where to start. The things that he's saying are so obviously ridiculous. It's fine if you want to come at Oklahoma and basically get on them and give them hell for having a bad year, especially considering how well they normally do. They had a really bad year. They've had 2 really bad years in the last 3 years. So if you want to come at Oklahoma for that specifically, then have at it, man. That's part of smack talking.
Let me ask you this. How is it that Oklahoma's bit off more than they can chew, and they've only been in the league for 1 year?
Well, that's what I was going to get to.
That's not a big sample size, right? And what's really aggravating me and irritating me here is him making this Southern accent like he's making fun of people with a Southern accent. You do.
Well, we're going to get to that
too. They're from the South too, right? There's Waco's in Texas, right?
That's right.
So why are you making fun of Southern people's accents, man? Just because we talk a little bit slower doesn't mean we're stupid. It just means we take time to formulate our thoughts.
Well, he sees himself as above the South. He wants to claim all of the good things about the South and then raise himself above the negative stereotypes, which is just the sign that he's a puss. I mean, again, you want to come at Oklahoma and get on them for poor performance the last couple of years, you have every right to do that. But to make statements like they bit off more than they can chew, based on what? Did you realize that you only get 1 year to prove whether you're successful in a conference or not? You only get 1 year. That first year you get in. If you don't do well that first year, it's official. It's a failure. I think anyone that watches football and has eyes knows what happened. There was a confluence of circumstances that came together at the perfect time to make Oklahoma's transition to the SEC particularly difficult and bad. But man, you don't get to just rewrite history. You don't get to. He's doing a number of things, He's also implying that the Big 12 is something special too.
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's go ahead and play some more. You tell me when you want me to stop.
Yeah, I will.
Right.
I will.
Dollars per year. Can I ask you, Greg?
Oh, actually, you can actually stop right there.
How much of
I totally forgot. This point of his is ridiculous. When he talks about his point is Oklahoma fans justified the move to the SEC by saying we were going to get $20 million more a year because you make more in the SEC. That is absolutely one of the reasons why we left. It's not the only reason why we went. And he's acting like the fact that none of the Oklahoma fans themselves have actually gotten any part of that money. The only thing we've gotten was a team that now is a lot worse because they're in a harder conference, is a stupid point. It makes it's dumb. And again, it just shows the envy that they have of the SEC. They're still butthurt by the fact that Oklahoma and Texas left.
Well,
so now they want to try to pretend like,
he said Oklahoma almost missed a bowl game, but they didn't. How many times has Baylor and Iowa State missed bowl games over 125 years?
More than they've made them. More than they've made them. That's a fact.
And how many times has Iowa State and Baylor had 10-win seasons? I looked it up. Baylor's had 5 in their entire history.
Yeah,
5 10-win seasons. You know how many Iowa State's had?
3.
1.
Yeah.
And that was in 2024, man.
Yeah.
Like I said to you off air, Johnny come lately, Johnny leave early. They have never been relevant, man. They've had 15 freaking years, probably overall, of relevant football in 125 years. So those two together have 6 10-win seasons. You know how many Oklahoma's got? 40.
Yeah.
40, man. That's not even close, man. That's not even.
Again, this is what makes this video just so ridiculous from start to finish, from Drake Toole and Nick Muppet. I don't even know what to, again. The sad thing is most people that I've talked to have acted like this is just a pure clickbait video from start to finish. In other words, they're trolling the whole time. I don't think they are. I think they're serious.
Well, they're not really trolling in their mind, but they look like trolls to us because we're thinking, can't nobody be actually this stupid and spout shit out like it's facts when the stuff they're saying is none of it's factually true. Not even close.
Well, none of it's accurate, other than talking about Oklahoma having a down year.
Well, I mean, they're spitting out all sorts of shit. This Nick guy says some really stupid shit later on.
Oh, I know. I can't. Yeah. Keep it going.
That money is in your pocket. How much of that money is making your life better? How much of the losing, the not being in the coaches poll, the not having relevance in college football, being a forgotten part of the SEC now, how much of that is worth the $20 million that you will never see? Well, man, the bathrooms got upgraded at Gaylord Family. I like that part. Is that worth going 6 and 7? Is it worth being out of the coaches poll? Is it worth leaving the Big 12 that gave you so much? Nick, this is where Oklahoma, I think you say, hey, white flag on us, guys. We didn't have as much money or resources or prowess as we thought we did, and hiring Brent Venables is not working. Let's just can it all and go back to the Big 12.
I don't see any reason why not to. The only reason why not would be if they're scared of the competition. Obviously, Big 12 significantly better than the SEC, even though it doesn't.
Stop right there, man.
Thank you.
What the F, man? I mean, this guy said this with a fucking straight face.
He literally said that they're scared of the competition in the Big 12 as opposed to the SEC.
He's talking.
Is there a more ridiculous statement that you've heard in college football in the last 15, 20 years? I mean, this might be the dumbest effing thing I've heard in 20 years. I have a little, by the way, I did a little look in myself. Did you know?
He said significantly better than the SEC, right?
No, that's right.
So let me ask you this. Other than irrelevant bowl games they might have won, and later on he points out that Oklahoma State beat Arkansas, who's one of our teams that's not so good. When we play them on the big stage, what happens? Georgia played TCU. They beat them like a homecoming opponent. In that same year, Alabama played Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl, and Kansas State was the Big 12 champion, and we beat them by 30.
Oh, dude, what about when Oregon made it to the national championship and Notre Dame made it to the national championship? They got pummeled, man. They got absolutely pummeled. And by the way, while we're on the topic of bowl games, since 2000, How many bowl games do you think the mighty Big 12 has won? In 25 years, how many bowl games has the Big 12, which according to Nick Muppets over here, has much better competition? So how many bowl games?
You tell me.
61. 61 bowl games. I actually am surprised that the number was that high. SEC, just by comparison, 111, almost double. Almost double. You know, when you talk about NFL players, this one was really funny to me. How many players in the NFL since 2000 from the Big 12? It's 265. In the SEC, they had 372 from SEC schools on NFL rosters in 2023 alone. So, first round picks since 2000. Big 12 has had 89. SEC, 209. I mean, do we really need to go on? You brought this up earlier. He talks about Iowa State. I don't think he said it yet, but this, well, I'll wait. We get to that point, but
Yeah.
This
But
isn't the last dumbass thing that this dude said.
I got a stat too. He says they're significantly better. He didn't just say a little bit. He said significantly better. So since the advent of the BCS playoff era, which began in 1998, Tennessee won the very first one, by the way. The SEC's had 6 different teams win national titles, and they've had 15 national championships. The Big 12, if they didn't have Texas and Oklahoma, you know, the teams that y'all are shitting on, they wouldn't have anything. They'd have zero. A big old zero, big old goose egg, man. But if they're going to count Oklahoma and Texas, it'd be 15-2 in national titles when it matters, games that matter, not the freaking Independence Bowl, man, where your third and fourth string players come to play, and everybody's team sits down now. Back in the day, you might have been able to count that. Not anymore. People just leave. They don't stay for those irrelevant bowl games that they're trying to count, man. And if you don't count Texas and Oklahoma, since Texas and Oklahoma's in the SEC and y'all don't count them anymore, then the SEC's got 17 national titles to y'all's 0. And y'all wouldn't even make the playoffs last year if y'all hadn't got a Pac-12 team to join. Arizona State's Pac-12 school come in and won your damn conference the first year.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. But again, I think these cats are serious. I don't think they're joking. I think they definitely feel this way.
Well, let this Nick guy show you how he probably doesn't have more than 20 years of education.
That's a fact.
Let's hear him run his mouth a little bit.
Doesn't get the public kind of perception that way. There is a reason why Oklahoma might not want to come back. They might not want to come back for obviously going to lose more games, like obviously the competition.
You're an idiot. They won 10 games 2 years ago.
How? This is by the way, this is the team that won 10 games. Their last year there, and
Texas took their shit. Texas took their title with them, like Ric Flair did the WCW back in the day.
It's just so ridiculous. And again, you're talking smack about a team that won. I'm pretty sure it's 14 Big 12 titles out of their 27-year existence or 26-year whatever. They averaged one every other year, versus again 0 for either one of these two. So
let's hear some more stupidity.
Sure,
let's do it.
They're going to have to take a little bit of a different angle as far as financially. It's not going to be ideal for them. It's not that the Big 12 isn't as rich as the SEC, because I think we're rich in different ways.
By the way, that's what poor people say to themselves when they don't have money. I'm rich in different ways.
The bad thing is you're not rich in different ways. The SEC is richer in money, and we're richer in tradition and national championships and passion. That's why Oklahoma and Texas joined the SEC, because they want to play road games at Ames and freaking Waco. Them damn fan bases ain't worth a shit, man. They're Bush League.
Definitely a different angle for Oklahoma there. is the SEC better off with Oklahoma or without them? Is the Big 12 better off with Oklahoma or without them? That's up to you, really, to decide. For Iowa State fans, I think we like Oklahoma being in because we decided. We do beat them.
We did decide. We're better off without you. We left. And if you didn't think that you were better off with us in the conference, you wouldn't be making this stupid-ass video full of nonsense and ridiculousness. So we made a decision, chump. You're the one, Nick Muppets. You're the one that you don't get to decide. We made a decision. We don't want to be there. That's why we left. And no matter how many attempts you make to try and get us to come back or shame us into coming back or whatever this stupid idea you had is, it ain't happening, man. And I would rather go 6-7 every year than be hanging out in your mid-card league where winning the conference just doesn't mean that much. It's a consolation prize to the little kids.
Even the lower tier SEC venues like Mississippi State just has some passion about it, like the Cowbells, and the people are all up for the team, man. They're loud as hell. You go to one of their better teams like TCU. Have you ever seen a game at TCU? It's just not that great, man. And they're one of the top teams.
Think about what you just said. One of their better teams, TCU. Like, that's one of the better teams is TCU? My God, I would imagine life as a TCU fan, you must want to blow your head off most of the time, considering how bad your team usually is. And that's one of the better teams in the Big 12.
And they got a
BYU is already the best team in this league. They've been there 5 minutes.
BYU and Arizona State are both probably the two best teams in that conference.
Right. They've been there long enough to have a cup of coffee that hasn't even had time to get cold yet.
Y'all want to
they're already the best teams in your league, man.
They want to make little comments like Texas made the SEC title the first year. That shows you how weak the SEC is. Well, Arizona State made the title game and won the conference their first year.
Yeah,
so,
well,
just saying.
Keep going.
Beat them more than we don't, and that's always a fun win, especially in Ames. When it comes down in Ames and we beat Oklahoma, you can't beat that feeling.
Let me rewind.
Go back because we missed it. Because he says, go back.
All right, here we go.
That's up to you, really, to decide. For Iowa State fans, I think we like Oklahoma being in because we beat them. We do beat them more than we don't, and that's always a fun.
That is the dumbest, damn thing I've ever freaking heard, man. This guy's parents should ground him from this damn internet, man, because that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, man. Iowa State beats Oklahoma more than Oklahoma beats Iowa. I just spit this out. Oklahoma beat them 80 times to 7.
It's 87 times they've played, and you've got 7 wins, homie. You got 7 wins. That means we win once, 10 games, 11 games before you win one. Every 11 years since we've started playing your weak, sorry ass. If it wasn't for us, no one would even know you had a football team. If it wasn't for us.
Does Locked On Sports even screen these guys? Do they even fact check these jokers? I can't believe he said that. When he said that, like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
Apparently, all you have to have is a stupid hat and a bad haircut, and you can get a show on Locked On Big 12. But clearly, from Drake Toole and Nick Muppets over here, talking about we love Oklahoma because we beat them more times than not, and in 87 tries, you've won 7 times. Nick Muppets, 7.
I just can't believe he would say that, man. If I was Iowa State fans, I'd be embarrassed if this guy was my representation for some network, this Locked On bullshit network. It's a joke. This guy over here, Nick Drake Toole, is he's just sitting there all just deer in the headlights, letting this shit just go on, man. Doesn't even bother to worry about whether this guy's saying is true or not. He just automatically assumes it's true.
Well, it's ridiculous, man. And as much as I love NIL, I'm not calming down on this one, man. I'm not calming down on this one. These boys need to recognize if you're going to say dumbass things like this, then you deserve everything that you get coming your way. And you certainly deserve to get it when you look like a couple of dorks like these guys. So run your mouth, and this is what happens. You know, I don't care. I really don't care. I'm not gonna have these guys. I mean, again, if they said one thing, just one thing that was factually correct, I'd give them a little bit of credit. But they didn't. The whole thing. Take that back. He did accurately report Oklahoma's record last year. That's the only thing he got right.
When Oklahoma's first year was in the SEC, that record was done in the SEC. The year that Oklahoma left the Big 12, they won 10 games. We're the 40 at the time, compared to Iowa State's one time.
Yeah,
and that happened in 2024.
I mean, listen, man. I like Iowa State's got a good coach. I like Matt Campbell, but you know, we're just not gonna sit around and have people spitting out nonsense and do it like this, and then not have it fact checked. Because again, from start to finish, this bad boy is chock full of. I mean, this dude makes
it gets better.
Oh yeah, keep going.
It gets better.
On win, especially in Ames. When it comes down in Ames and we beat Oklahoma, you can't beat that feeling.
Yeah,
you can't beat that feeling because it don't happen very often, you moron.
Am confident, and it happens in bowl games, happens in non-conference games. It happens pretty much every year. We get to that point, you say, "Oh shoot, the SEC where it just means more, it didn't in bowl season, or the SEC where it just means more, the Big 12's most putrid team."
He's talking about the Independence Bowl. So he's talking about the big bowls.
Team Oklahoma State last year beats Arkansas. We're beating middle of the pack SEC teams with our work.
Arkansas is not middle of the pack; they were in the cellar.
And that BYU and Arkansas a couple of years ago when BYU wasn't even that great. We are proving year in and year out. I mean, Arizona State, if not for 3 separate terrible blown calls against Texas, they win that game. We keep saying they're a play away. Yeah, they're a play away.
More than that.
And they were just egregiousness from the Stripes to put the little man down. The Big 12 is good enough at football.
Did he just call himself the little man?
Well, that's what I was just about to say. Is that a Freudian slip from Drake Toole? Is he saying the quiet part out loud? Like, again, dude, you're making it so obvious that you got little dick syndrome. What are you doing?
Sure enough, there were some bad calls in the game, but there's been bad calls all year against everybody. And let's not forget how Texas and Oklahoma was treated by the referees in the Big 12 the last year they were there.
100%.
I think you're right.
What was you saying?
I was just going to say, if you look at the facts of that, the comment that you just made, if you go look at the record and just take a look at the things like penalties called against OU and the rest of the Big 12 or Texas and the rest of the Big 12, it's blatantly obvious.
It's just simple, man. It's real simple. If you're going to get on here and say shit like this, you need to make sure that at least 80 to 90% of it's actually fact.
Yeah, you got to weave in at least a little bit of fact.
Yeah. Everybody's going to mess up every once in a while, but this shit's like 10% accurate.
Would the Big 12 would have an edge, 6 or 7 teams over Oklahoma this season?
No.
Everybody's, John Mateer, great quarterback. Yeah, dog. I remember the name DeQuan Finn, MAC Player of the Year. Here he comes to Baylor. He's going to make $2 million in NIL. Be one of the best quarterbacks out of the transfer portal. Everybody wanted him. He chooses Baylor. Bombshell. Within 2 games, dude's pissing down his leg in Big 12 play. Can't figure it out. He gets benched for Sawyer Robertson, who becomes one of the Big 12's best quarterbacks. So you're telling me that John Mateer is going to walk into the SEC and be good? I keep seeing these power rankings that have him 3rd or 4th in the conference. One, that just goes to show the SEC is a bad quarterback conference compared to the Big.
Whoa. The SEC is a bad quarterback conference? Really? Really? I mean, didn't we have Cam Newton and Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts was here for a little while.
You ever heard of a guy named Tim Tebow?
Yeah, Tim Tebow. Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. Even further back in the Alabama history, and
Joe Burrow.
Joe Namath, Ken Stabler, Bart Starr. Y'all don't know your history, man. Y'all don't need to be on here, and Locked On Sports needs to be shut the hell down.
Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts.
There you go, Joe Burrows. See, there's so many of them, but we can't.
Tua.
Yeah, I already said Tua. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's just
AJ McCarron was bad. AJ McCarron made the team. He was on the team for a little while with Cincinnati.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, once again, bullshit.
But
Big
again,
12, we have guys like
they don't. This to your point.
Want to lose 15 to 20% of your weight in a year? Try Rose Insurance Checker.
To your
Nick Merowitz
point,
of Locked On Cyclones.
What'd you say?
to your point, these guys don't know dick about football before the year 2000. There's no way. There's no way they know anything about football. To them, football started in 2000.
To me, what I
Exactly. The damn commercial messed me up.
That's all right.
think sets Iowa State apart is the defense in this one. I think that they're going to be so much better than last season, specifically at the linebacker position.
What's that?
Go back a little bit. I think we're further back a little bit. Not that far.
Nick Merowitz of Locked On Cyclones. Iowa State's been in the.
Go about right there. See where we're at there, right there.
You're right. The Big 12 would have an edge, 6 or 7 teams over Oklahoma this season. Everybody's, John Mateer, great quarterback. Yeah, dog. I remember the name DeQuan Finn, MAC Player of the Year. Here he comes to Baylor. He's going to make a couple $1 million in NIL. Be one of the best quarterbacks out of the transfer portal. Everybody wanted him. He chooses Baylor. Bombshell. Within 2 games, dude's pissing down his leg in Big 12 play. Can't figure it out. He gets benched for Sawyer Robertson, who becomes one of the Big 12's best quarterbacks. So you're telling me that John Mateer is going to walk into the SEC and be good? I keep seeing these power rankings from the MAC. I'm 3rd or 4th in the conference. One, that just goes to show the SEC is a bad quarterback conference compared to the.
What's that?
He was, and by the way, he was talking about a transfer player from the MAC that didn't make it work out in the Big 12. What does that prove?
It's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with John Mateer.
It means nothing. It means nothing. But go ahead. He just made the comment that the SEC is a bad quarterback league. Now let him get more diarrhea.
Big 12, we have guys like Sam Levitt, Sawyer Robertson, Rocco Beck, Josh Hoover, Avery Johnson.
Who?
He just, that's what I was just about to say. He just rattled off a long list of players I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
The only one I know out of that whole bunch is Avery Johnson. That's it. The rest of them
I've heard some of the names, but my point is nobody's talking about these guys. Nobody's talking about these guys in any seriousness.
Who's going to get drafted?
It might be fun to watch, but I enjoy watching high school football too if it's entertaining enough. Being fun to watch and being a better league are 2 totally different things.
Is any of those guys going to be drafted? Are they going to get drafted?
No. They won't be carrying the water for the SEC quarterbacks that make it to the league. Much less will they play.
Exactly.
That list goes. Caden Salter's probably 11 on the list, and he's good at football. And Oklahoma has an unproven SEC quarterback. They were 6 and 7 last year. And I do think overall, maybe they have a better shot to win in the Big 12 long term than they do the SEC. They sold out for the money, and now they're reaping the consequences of that, and the consequences are not good.
Can we have relegation in college football? Because that would make this a lot more interesting. I think if they stick around the SEC, they're going to have to realize very quickly probably can't stick around and lose consistently. Now, yeah, I get why they moved.
You can stick around and lose consistently. Vanderbilt has. Mississippi State has. There is no such thing as relegation, son. Maybe on your PlayStation 5, but this ain't no video game.
It's ridiculous.
Moved. Obviously, the money is big in the SEC, but that doesn't mean that the Big 12 doesn't have its perks. I mean, just look at Iowa State. Look at Ames. You loved Ames. Ames is one of the greatest places on planet Earth. It's nothing compares to Ames.
Are you serious? Is he serious, man?
He just said that.
Ames. Nobody has ever heard of Ames until you mention Iowa State. Nobody has ever heard of it, man. It's just a 4-letter word, like the word shit. It's a 4-letter word, man. It's just like the word shit.
I've taken dumps that are more exciting than life in Ames. I can promise you that. Nobody knows about Ames, Iowa. Nobody cares about going to Ames, Iowa. Are you serious, man? I can't even imagine what life is like in Ames, Iowa. I would imagine that a dark, gray winter day into a black, cold winter night in Ames has got to suck horribly bad.
Man, the
There's
team.
nothing in Iowa, Thunder. That's the point, man. There's nothing in Iowa but Corn and Nick Muppets, the nerd, who is just talking out of his ass from the start to finish in this video.
He acts like Ames is a destination spot, man. It's just like, man, you guys, man, y'all are ridiculous, man. Locked On Sports should be ashamed. Everybody should look up Locked On Sports and look for their main page where you can complain and tell them they need to do something about this shit, man. This is embarrassing for them.
Oklahoma, we want you back. We don't want you back that bad.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Why are you making a video with damn clickbait?
It's so again, man. This is one of the things that drives me nuts about this video is because you are talking smack the whole time, and it's a thin veil to disguise your absolute envy and jealousy and desire for Oklahoma to be back. You want us back so bad, it hurts. It keeps you up at night. Otherwise, you wouldn't be embarrassing yourself like Drake, Tool, and Nick Muppets are doing right now, talking about saying, Oklahoma, we want you back. I mean, we don't really want you back that bad. You sound like a stupid 13-year-old junior high girl who's trying to get her boyfriend back by playing stupid mind games. That's what you sound like you're doing, man. You sound like you're trying to convince yourself more than you trying to convince anybody else, because the nonsense coming out of your mouth ain't convincing anybody of jack shit, and that's a fact.
I mean, we'd like you back. We'd like you back more than anything to make fun of you, probably. But
again, once again,
what are you gonna make you're 7-80? You're 7-80.
This is the class nerd talking about bowing up to the football team. This is what this is. And I mean, hey, man, to each their own. You know what I'm saying? But again, you know, in the nature's world, this is where the little puppy gets smacked down. That's what happens. That's how nature handles something like this. When you run your mouth, I mean, this is the product of someone who's never been punched squarely in the nose. That's what this is. Because you're taunting it, man. You're saying the most dumb, ridiculous things, completely unfactual, but also insane and retarded. And you're saying it with a smirk on your face. So, in my opinion, man, they deserve everything they get. And to your point earlier, Locked On, I mean, man, I would just do better, man. Do better. You need better out of your people, man. I would expect your people to be above such Bush League, you know, content.
Their hope is that people that's watching them are people their age that don't know any better. They're not going to go back and fact check them. See, this is shit that I don't even have to fact check. I know it because I've been around longer than they have. So I know they're full of shit.
I mean, it's so ridiculous, dude. Like, I can't even. And I'll admit it. It pisses me off. I don't care. Clearly, it pisses me off. I'm just not. I mean, I think one of the problems that we have today is that people just get to say dumbass things that aren't true, and nobody gets checked anymore, man. When I was a kid, you said dumb things, you might get not just checked, you might get physically checked. Now you just get to run your mouth and just say whatever you want, you know, and there's no consequences. Now, I'm not suggesting that physical harm should find these two dorks. It's nothing like that. But my point is, you don't get to sit up here and just run your mouth and bring up nonsense to justify your stupid point of view and not have somebody get up here and again, fact check you line by line. Like, dude, we can't make it 10 seconds of them talking without having to stop it because they just said something stupid.
This is the second or third time that this Drake Tool guy has made a video about Oklahoma coming back to the Big 12.
I know. I saw that one too.
Just because you say something doesn't make it come true, man. This ain't the movies, man. This ain't where you get to rub a genie bottle and make some kind of wish come true, man.
That's right.
There ain't gonna be no I Dream of Genie coming for you, bro. It's not coming, and your conference is just a bunch of mid-carders, man. And the only hope y'all have, in my opinion, is those Pac-12 teams that you added, and BYU is really the only team, them in Colorado back in 91, they're the only teams that's ever won a national title. And you had to go out and get them to come into your conference to give you national titles. So,
yeah, dude. By the way, we got another donation from Johnny Fairlane. OU would dominate the Big 12 just like before. That's a fact. Everybody knows that's a fact. That's what's really funny about them.
Well, they say that shit about, if OU come back, they probably lose just as many games. Really? I think Oklahoma won 50 conference titles, you idiot.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They
say about Texas, but not Oklahoma, man. They've won 50 conference titles, man.
They dominated the Big 12 probably more so than they dominated it than they performed in the Big 8, and they did really well in the Big 8. But they dominated the Big 12.
Then y'all let Texas leave with your title, man. Y'all let Texas take your shit and go to the
that's a sore that hurts. I'm not gonna lie. We should have left the conference with that title, but I'm not. I'm still not over the pain of that yet. But regardless, this is the same thing as Missouri fan trying to act like their pathetic record against Oklahoma is different than it actually is.
That's the team right there that y'all might want to pine for. That might be more realistic. If y'all went and tried to get Missouri back or Texas A&M.
Absolutely. Go get Vanderbilt. Go get Kentucky.
Vanderbilt.
Well, actually, no, we keep Kentucky for the basketball.
They know. Vanderbilt and Kentucky know. They talk about how much money they're making, how much Oklahoma's making and not being successful. I mean, Oklahoma's only been in the league 1 year, and Oklahoma's just as successful as Iowa State. Iowa State was just 6-6 2 years ago.
Well, dude, the funny thing is, they're acting like 1 year is any kind of a like that the decision is already in. Oh, it's a bad thing. But the funny thing is, if they would just sit there and think about what they're saying. Think about what that means, what Oklahoma thinks about being in the Big 12, that they would rather go get kicked around in the SEC. They clearly haven't asked to go back, as bad as Nick Muppet and his buddy Drake Toole wanted to be. They would rather be in the SEC getting beat down and having a 6-7 year than being in your mid-card conference. That's how much winning in the Big 12 means to Oklahoma now, and Texas for that matter. So again, you're just embarrassing yourself, man. You're embarrassing yourself. And I know you two think, I know y'all believe this. Everybody else thinks y'all are trolling, but I know y'all think it's true. And so again, and you know what, man, I'm just looking forward to Oklahoma fans are not happy right now. Things are not the way we want them to be. But the one thing that I am not worried about, whether it takes time or not, is Oklahoma will be just fine in the SEC. And I just hope that John Mateer and the offensive line and everybody bows up and bosses up and shows guys like this. I want to have multiple live streams throughout this season with the Outlaw. And you and me, we're going to play Drake Toole and Nick Muppets all season long. As the performance on the field changes. Because let's not forget, and this is not coming from Oklahoma fans, this is coming from the likes of Phil Steele and the guy, not Kubelik, but the oh damn it, now I'm not going to remember his name, who believe that the SEC that Oklahoma's got the best line in the SEC on defense. That may or may not be true, but what is clear is they got a pretty good group of guys on the defensive side of the ball alone. And we know, I mean, dude, how can it get much worse than it was last year on offense? Again,
these two guys, man, they root for teams that's never even won a national title or even come close, man. That's what gets me. They act like they're King Dinglings now. I'm just like, what are y'all doing, man? Y'all seriously, man, without Oklahoma and Texas, y'all really had no history. Colorado won one national title in 1991, but outside of that, Oklahoma and Texas carried y'all, man. And y'all just don't admit that shit.
That's 100% correct. They would be the MAC without OU and Texas. That's what they would be. Nobody would care. Who do you think is tuning in to see Baylor play Iowa State in Ames? Who do you think is tuning in to see that game outside of the people in Waco and Ames? Nobody, man. Nobody's tuning in to see it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that game. Nobody cares about TCU versus West Virginia. Well, West Virginia actually. It's a shame that West Virginia is in that conference because I think they could hang in a conference like the SEC. But it is what it is. But regardless, that the conference, the thing that was what bothered me about Oklahoma being in the conference more than anything the last 10 years was that it got so soft on the defensive side across the board, and Oklahoma was as guilty of it as anyone. But across the board, it became a predominantly finesse, high offense type of league with no defense. So when OU did make it to the end of the year, even when they had their good teams, I was at the Florida Oklahoma National Championship. I was at the USC Oklahoma National Championship. I was at the Boise State game. I mean, I have seen them have, good teams, and again, these two clowns, man. I get angry when I watch this video. Even watching it with you right now, it actually makes me angry.
We'll see what else they got to say. I'm sure it's going to be hard to make it through this whole entire video.
Keep it going.
On a physical play level, yeah, you're right. They're probably going to be in the bottom half. And that's not even a joke. Like, that really is.
It is a joke. You're
realistic, just with the level of the Big 12 play this year. And to kind of get a little bit off topic, I don't see any reason we can't have two Big 12 teams in the playoff this season. Like,
not happening. Didn't happen last year. It ain't gonna happen this year.
You know what I mean? Is Oklahoma gonna make the playoff? Probably not. Didn't make the.
Oklahoma probably had a better chance to make the playoff than Iowa State.
Preseason bowl.
No, they didn't, and I don't think they'll make the playoff this year out of the SEC. Is there some insult to injury here that the Texas Longhorns were in the SEC title last year in the college football playoff? Is it even worse to see your rival, who was terrible in the Big 12, now win in the SEC?
Oh, from Oklahoma's perspective, absolutely. It'll be like if
it's probably the first factual thing they've said all night.
I was actually just about to say the same thing. He is right about that.
Y'all been right 1 out of 2,000 times.
Yeah. No, but this actually still shows you that their main intention here was just to rub it in Oklahoma's face. Because otherwise, you don't even bring this up.
Gosh, I don't know if there's a super good parallel. It'd be like if Iowa made the.
What is TubeBuddy? Let's break it down fast. TubeBuddy is used by over 14 million creators.
Big, the national title game. I wouldn't love that either. SEC, there'd be conference movement for Iowa to make it, but that'd be one of those. You just don't want it to happen. Can't imagine how the Oklahoma fans feel right now.
No, they can't feel good. I have no pity for them. I remember the days of Lincoln Riley having a timeout called on him in Waco, Texas, and the fans rushed the field twice, and he was a baby about it. And take your lumps, go just lose with valor. And dude couldn't do it. And
don't charge the field. If you're used to winning, you don't charge the field usually, right?
Well,
now they have.
Do what?
No, I was just gonna say the other thing is, man, again, this is what it is. If you're a Baylor fan, your whole football, the extent of your great football memories are all regular season games.
For them, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? This is all they got. Is great highlights from regular season games that ultimately
they're good for 1 or 2 big wins a year. But they're not consistent, and they never have been. That's why they've only had 15 years of relevant football history between the two of them, probably.
No way.
Maybe 20, 25 years between the two of them and 15
years. That's generous. They might have 10 years of great football between the two programs. Iowa State and Baylor, how many times in history have they ever been really good? So, again, they've got what was it, five 10-win seasons and 1 10-win season. So they have 6 10-win seasons total between the two of them ever.
In 120 plus years.
So so they don't have 25 good years of football for those programs combined. No way.
Brent Venables, who America really wanted. I mean, every school in the country was calling Venables to be their head coach. But please, the best defensive coordinator, the guy who led Clemson to a couple of national championships, just come coach here. Oklahoma finally lands the plane, and you learn that, man, sometimes the number 2, sometimes the DC or the OC is in that spot for a reason. They can't command a program. And not to say Venables couldn't pick it up at some point in his life, but right now it's just not working for Oklahoma. And it's a storied program. And that storied program.
He said something right again. Oklahoma is a storied program. You guys are unstoried.
I mean, they know, man. That's what makes this video so stupid, is that they know what's up. They give it away a couple of times throughout this video, and that's one of them. When he says matter-of-factly that they're a storied program, because he knows that that's the case.
Every program goes through lulls. Alabama's had them. Oklahoma's had them. Blue Bloods have these lulls. But Iowa State and Baylor, they're just never has-beens. They're just every once in a while. Johnny come lately every once in a while, 10-win season for the first time in 120 years in 2024.
Yeah. And to be fair, the last run that Oklahoma had of good, high-caliber football was a really long run. I mean, you got to give them credit. They went 25 years of, high caliber, multiple national championship appearances, one of them a win, multiple Heisman quarterbacks. I mean, they've been good for a long time, man. So they have a couple of bad years.
People in Iowa State and Baylor celebrate 6-6 seasons.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. They go 6-6 and win a bowl game. They're rewriting history in Ames, Iowa.
Because, Iowa State beats y'all all the time. They beat y'all 7 times in 120 years, man. That's a lot.
More than not. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Apparently, when you play 87 times, only 7 of them count. The ones you win.
That's right.
Be bad again this year in the SEC, and I think they'd have a better shake in the Big 12 to continue. I mean, just based on the numbers of what they did in the last 20 years in this conference. They're
going to make their mind up. A while ago, they said that Oklahoma would probably come in and lose. A lot of games. Now he's saying they'd have a better chance to win a bunch of games in the Big 12. So what's that tell you there, Drake? It tells you the conference is less than the SEC.
He realizes that he just painted himself into a corner. He realizes when he says they would come in, they would probably do pretty well in the Big 12, because he had just been finished running his mouth about how they would be in the bottom of the league now if they came back to the Big 12. So instead of giving them credit, present tense, he tries to play it off by saying, just based on the numbers, just based on history. No, it's based on fact, man. They've got a better roster than every team in that league. Every one of them. Don't get it twisted. Even with the wide receiver injuries and the down recruiting that looks like they're having this year in terms of the rankings, don't mistake yourself.
He'd like to have you back and make fun of you and beat you on the regular when y'all's last year there, y'all was 10-3. Y'all went to the SEC and went 6-7. But y'all went 10-3 over there last year. You was in the Big 12. So just saying, in that 6-7 year y'all did have in the Big 12 was a lot of extenuating circumstances had to take place in order for y'all to get over on Oklahoma like that.
So absolutely, dude. Even our offense from last year, who couldn't go vertical at all, would have still probably won 9-10 games minimum in the Big 12 last year.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If they had stayed in the Big 12, and he's going to mention this here in a little bit. Let me go ahead and play it.
It would be in a better spot to keep winning. And
it's hard to be worse than they were last year.
Correct. And it's
they were 6-7 last year because they were in the SEC. And you just said they would probably been better off. They're talking out both sides of their mouth, man.
A spot where things were going fine until you wanted more money. And the second you left for more money, you were bad. And now that you're bad, I just hope that fans who said, oh, $20 million more a year understand you'll never see that. And it doesn't change your life. It only makes your football.
And y'all never see it either, because y'all never going to make that kind of money in the Big 12 ever.
That's a fact.
Viewing experience far worse. And the Big 12 would welcome you back.
Well, let me ask you this from the public's perspective. Yeah. What is better, 4 wins in the SEC or 8 wins in the Big 12? Because I bet some Oklahoma fans would be on the 4 wins in the SEC side, which is delusion, but it is probably the case.
Correct. And they would say that for the money. And say, well, we made more money going 4 and 8. Yeah, but you didn't. That money did nothing to you. This is a fake thing. This is a fake.
It's not fake if you're getting it. You're getting the money. How's it fake? How's it a fake thing? And y'all just said that Oklahoma would have won 8 games in your conference. So that means that the SEC is better because they only won 6 games over here.
It's just a stupid argument, man. Like no Oklahoma fans expected to get any of the money. Your point is dumb.
They contradict themselves more than a TV evangelist, man.
I mean, I think we can all agree that in the age of NIL and the transfer portal, cash is king. So do you think you could use $20 extra million for your football program in this culture and environment? Yeah, I think it's going to come in pretty handy. And it ain't coming from the Big 12.
How are you saying they're not going to see it? They'll see it in renovations and recruiting.
100%. That's my point. Like, it's a stupid argument.
Number on your screen doesn't change your life whatsoever, aside from having you now be more miserable as a fan watching your football team. And hopefully Oklahoma fans are coming around on that idea now, because they were pumping their chest and so pompous when they left. They left a year early, by the way. Texas and Oklahoma were supposed to be in the Big 12 last season, and they paid to exit a year early, and the Big 12 said, fine, get out.
Wrong answer. That's the wrong answer, man. They left because they wanted to leave. They paid to get out because the referees and the Big 12 office was doing them no favors. So they left because they wanted to, not because the Big 12 told them they could leave.
Yeah, and again, what does that tell you about what the leadership at both of those universities thought about their value in the Big 12 versus their value in the SEC? They clearly thought that getting to the SEC as quickly as possible was in their best interest, even if they had to pay millions of dollars, which, by the way, they didn't pay most of it anyway.
Iowa State and Baylor couldn't pay it because they'd never get invited. Just saying. They're going to end up getting pushed down into another tier, and they're going to be playing for a Division I AA title one day.
It's funny that you say that, because that's what I was going to say. They need to be quiet and just be happy that they're in the Big 12. They don't need to be making any enemies right now, because they're going to be lucky to just be able to stay in Division I football when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
because consider where this game is headed.
If the SEC and the Big 10 decide to take their ball and go home, there's nothing that can stop
it. It's game over. It's game over. They'll pluck a few of the good remaining programs from those mid-card conferences. They'll pluck out the Clemsons, and they'll pluck out the Miamis. They'll do that. They'll pluck out the Kansas for the basketball, and then the North Carolina, and then the rest of them, like Ames and Iowa State and Baylor in Waco, they're going to be playing Division II football if they're lucky.
Yeah, they're going to come back up with another, because they've already talked about it anyway, about forming another subdivision for those teams that don't make the cut. He's talking about relegation. Yeah. Iowa State and Baylor are going to get relegated.
Well, that's that.
Y'all going to be playing against Northern Iowa and North Dakota State, so you better shut the hell up.
Yeah, get ready for that powerhouse. In Wyoming.
North Dakota State, by the way, would go to Ames and beat your ass, because I think they've done it before. As a matter of fact, I think Northern Iowa went into Ames and won a few times.
I'm sure they did, dude.
I know they have. I remember
it. That's what makes this so ridiculous. Like Baylor's had like 5 or 6 relevant years ever. They They had a few good years towards the very end of the Southwest Conference. They had a couple of decent years under Art Briles and Matt Rule, and that's it. And one decent year under Dave Aranda, where I think they still lost 4 games that year, like three. So, please, man, there's no comparison.
Let's go ahead and finish these guys up.
Now we're seeing how it's not working out at all for them. Nick Maravats of Locked On Cyclones. Where can folks find?
Nope. Not going to listen to that shit.
No.
We're not going to give y'all a push. That's for damn sure.
No.
So, yeah. Can we sit straight to the party? These two guys basically were saying that Oklahoma should come back to the Big 12 because, I don't know. You tell them, Killer. Give them a rundown.
Well, I mean, I think they tried to make a couple of points, which is to say that, well, the funny thing is their point was they would have a better life in the Big 12 with regard to wins and losses and playoff opportunities than they would have in the SEC. And you know what? At least the way it's currently formulated, that might be true. If Oklahoma was in the Big 12, winning the Big 12 every other year like they did while they were in the Big 12, yeah, then it just stands to reason that they might make it to the playoffs more. But they are a blue blood program that has more pride than that. It certainly had the money was a big part of it, but I'm sure that the prestige of the SEC versus every other conference, including the Big 12 and the Big 10 for that matter, was the gap was getting ever wider. And they did not want to end up going down to the land of futility, being such a storied program, as Drake Toole himself said. So
they want you to think that that their conference is still great without y'all, but that they want you back because they're doing it for your own good. And but when you say that Oklahoma would have it easier over there, what are you actually saying about your conference? You're saying it's just as good as the SEC, or maybe even better. But at the same time, you're saying that Oklahoma would win more games over there when they didn't win more games in the SEC. So what are you saying here, man? You're telling us that your conference is not up to par, man, and that Oklahoma at 6-7, he said it himself, would have come in there and won 8 or 10 games.
Well, dude, when they're making the argument that the Big 12 is a better conference now based on the teams that they acquired and the teams that they lost. So the rap on the Big 12 when OU and Texas was in it, particularly after Texas A&M and Missouri left, was that they were top heavy. You had the Big 2 and the Little 10, and the Big 2 were top level, and the Big 10 were the Little 10 were mid card at best. So your argument is getting rid of the premier teams in your league and just adding a whole bunch of more mediocre makes you better because none of y'all are head and shoulders above the rest. So just a whole bunch of average that makes you a better conference? I think not. And again, based on damn near any statistic that you look up, just start randomly Googling shit. Just start randomly guessing statistics and do a comparison in the Big 12 versus the SEC since the year 2000. Essentially, since the Big 12 has been in existence. I think they actually got started in, 97, 98, some shit like that. But just go take a look at damn near any, just get nuts. Just start random Google searches on football statistics. And in every single one of them, the SEC is going to be better than the Big 12. Maybe the Big 12 has more kickers. I can see. Oh, shit.
So when Texas and Oklahoma left the Big 12, they had to go out and add 4 teams to make up for 2. What's that tell you? They added Cincinnati, Central Florida, BYU, and Houston, right? And then after that, 2 years later or a year later, they added 4 more. Arizona State, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. So in order for y'all to get back up to speed and up to par to make up for the huge loss when Texas and Oklahoma broke your fucking heart, excuse my language, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. But it took 8 teams to replace 2. 8.
Yeah, dude. And 4 of the 8. Let's not get this twisted either. It's not like you were going to get those 4 teams if the Pac-12 didn't just shit themselves and completely fall apart.
Exactly.
So those 4 teams that you picked up were basically homeless kids who needed a place to stay, and they ended up in the Big 12. So I'm really not giving you credit for it. And sadly, 2 of them of the 4 are well, no, not 2 of them, but the one of them won your league in the first year that they were in. So again,
exactly. If the Pac-12 had not listened to the Big Ten and snaky ass Kevin Warren,
that's right,
went out and raided the Big 12, the Big 12 would no longer be around.
That's right.
And Baylor and Iowa State would be in the Mountain West right now.
That's right.
Baylor and Iowa State was not on the Pac-12's wish list. The Pac-12 looked at it a little while. They thought about it, but they weren't going to add Baylor and Iowa State.
That's a fact.
So your 2 programs would have been in the Mountain West. So just saying, y'all just got lucky, man. Y'all lucky that y'all, like Killebreeze said, that y'all are still able to have a chance to make the playoffs, even though only 1 team out of your 16-team league made it. 1, and that team you had to go out and get from the Pac-12.
I mean, can you name just try to think of stars from either one of those programs? Like you're gonna be hard pressed, man. You can be hard pressed. I'm sure they're there somewhere. You know,
the team that they thought was going to be the team to step up didn't win a conference game at all. That's Okie Pokey Chokey State, man. Oklahoma State's like, yeah, Oklahoma and Texas gone. We're gonna dominate, and they can't even win 1 game in the Big 12, man.
That was. I don't even know what to say about Gundy, man. I sometimes I just feel I get the weirdest vibes from him now. You know,
you're talking about Texas and Oklahoma carrying the Big 12 for the better part of 50 years, 60, 70 years. To microcosm it down, Oklahoma's been carrying Oklahoma State for 120 years.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Just saying.
That's
I know
a fact.
Oklahoma fans are going to get mad at me when I grill on Oklahoma State. But I guess it's because I don't understand that relationship that y'all have with them because I hate Auburn so much.
Well, you know, there are a lot of Oklahoma fans who have a soft place in their heart for Oklahoma State. I'm not necessarily one of those people. I don't like Oklahoma State. I like it when they lose.
Oh, duty dungy.
I thought, though, like you just mentioned, I thought it was prime for the taking for Oklahoma State to become the blue blood of that conference. And
it's going to be BYU and Arizona State is what I think is going to happen.
And maybe West Virginia. I'm curious to see what Rich Rod does.
And Kansas State. Kansas State's pretty decent.
Kansas State's got a good coach too. Kleiman's good. But yeah, I you know, man, I was disappointed that Oklahoma State didn't take control. They clearly did not do well with the opportunity that was in front of them.
NIL committee says there's no relationship between Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. OU doesn't think about Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State dreams about OU. Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, I promise you, there's some Oklahoma fans out there that will get my DMs and say, hey, man, leave Oklahoma State alone. We don't treat Oklahoma State like y'all treat Auburn. So quit. That's what they tell me. And I just can't help myself because I don't like Mike Gundy because he rolled over for that BLM shit. And he took off that OAN shirt for Chubba Hubba's retarded ass.
Yeah.
So I've lost respect for him ever since then, man.
Yeah, man. It's a fact. It's a fact. So what do you think? What do you think about this video? Do you think those guys were serious like I think, or do you think they were really just
I don't think they were trolling. I think that the stuff they said would be great trolling if it was trolling. What makes it worse is the fact that they actually think that people believe him. It's like Brian Kelly when he faked that accent. He wasn't playing or telling a joke. He really wanted people to think that he had a Southern accent. Like we were that stupid. You know, we do watch Notre Dame games from time to time, Brian. We know you don't have an accent.
Yeah, there's this thing called the internet out there, and there's a record of everything.
Now, Rye Guy makes a good point. I forgot about Texas Tech. Texas Tech is making some inroads. Their boosters are really boning up. So if a team's going to come in and start really showing out in the Big 12, y'all might need to, latch your wagon to Texas Tech.
Actually, and they're not just throwing around money in football. They're throwing around money in every sport. But you know how that goes, man. It's one thing to make a push like this and get a whole bunch of money up. And look, in Texas, you always got oil money. So I'm sure they got a lot of money at Texas Tech too. But my point is, at the end of the day, it's football. And it's one thing to raise a whole bunch of money one time. It's another thing to keep that kind of money continually flowing in. You know what I'm saying?
Not only that, but you got to be able to get players and develop them. Texas A&M has been a real poster child for, hey, we got a lot of money, but we ain't going to do shit. We're going to win one good game a year. We might beat Alabama once, and then we're going to turn around and shit the bed against LSU.
No, that's a fact.
Sounds like Iowa State, to be honest with you.
It's going to be interesting. Now, they have – yeah, well, I think A&M's probably had marginally more success than Iowa State over the years. Iowa State's about as bad as it gets, man. They're terrible. But
hey, man, they had a 10-win season, man. You hear about that in 2024, man? They have a 10-win season is about as often as we get Haley's Comet.
Yeah, who was the star player on that team? Who was that guy?
I don't know, man.
Nobody does. That's the point. Nobody does. Nobody knows they even have a football team when they're not on the internet talking about their weak-ass football team.
Drake was doing a roll call earlier, a bunch of guys. It was like he was in class in junior high or something, man. And it's just like, who is these guys, man? Yes. Who? What? What are you talking about, man? And I could tell he was looking down at a piece of paper while he was saying it because he didn't know who they were.
Nobody's, that's the thing, man. Nobody, I've heard of a couple of the names, but nobody knows anything about those guys. You are a consumed football fan, and they got a bunch of those out there. I'm sure the sports fanatics that get into every statistic and of every team. I'm sure some people know who they are, but the average football fan has no idea who any of those quarterbacks were. No.
What is it with the 4-letter word cities, man? Are they all just emasculated? You got Waco and Ames. The only thing really famous coming out of there was the Branch Davidians. And his crook-neck ass, man. His head's always like this, man. Old crook-neck rope-sucking looking ass, man. I bet he does that, man. I bet he sucks a couple of ropes every now and then.
I wouldn't put it past him. Again, I've never seen any of their other material, so I don't know what this guy is like when he's, in other, is he ever good? I don't know.
It's Locked On Sports, man. It's a joke. It's like that Voice of College Football crap, man. It's like, just because y'all got 10,000 channels don't make you right.
Yeah, it is baffling, man. You would think that they would need to have, but maybe the reality is there's just not that many content creators out there talking about either Iowa State or Baylor football. So maybe you just take what you can get.
That's a good point. I may be a little hard on Locked On Sports. There's probably not many people out there that want to be locked on Baylor or locked on Iowa State.
Yeah, let's think about that. Let's role play. Hey, it's Nick Muppets and Locked On Iowa State in Ames. Let's talk about what we got going on here relevant. Let's see. There's we got
instead of the ball drop.
Hold on 1 second. I'm still looking.
They did the nut drop. Instead of the ball drop, they did the nut drop on New Year's Eve. In Iowa State names. That's probably Waco, right?
That's football.
In Waco, they don't do the ball drop. They do the nut drop. Because that guy looks like he's probably been teabagged a few times.
He's missing a good opportunity. It'd be time better spent than talking about college football. That's clearly not his thing. I think he was serious. I honestly
they were serious.
He thinks that the Big 12 that he can make arguments that I would actually like to hear. Actually, that's the problem. He didn't give us any. There's no, like, he couldn't back. What did he back it up with? You know, you made some pretty bold claims there, brother. What, like, he can't even. What factual, what data set is he going to point to that's going to prove that the Big 12 is superior to the SEC in football in any way? There's no way. There's no way. Not from a revenue standpoint, not from a historical standpoint, not from a record book standpoint, nothing. What you looking at, man?
Look at these stats right here, man. I just can't get over them making all that noise about Iowa State and the great Ames tradition.
Do you see?
You got one 10-win season. You got OU with 40. My team, Alabama's got 46. And the other team they make fun of, Texas, has got 25. Man, that's almost almost 210-win seasons, man.
I mean,
it's like you said. It's like it'd be like be like a little pup coming up and nipping at the back end of a pit bull or something, man. The pit bull will look at him and say, "You need to go on now." And then finally, after a while, the pit bull just wrings your neck, man, and just owns your ass.
Yeah, this is if you've ever, I'm a nature buff, so I like to, every once in a while I like to relax my mind and watch a little nature on TV. And you know what I've seen many times? The little happy pup, the little happy cub, full of energy, full of vigor, too much energy that for his own good, and he's up there. And he's popping mom and dad in the face, and he's swatting them at the backside. And next thing you know, from out of nowhere, here comes mom's backhand or dad's paw smacking his head straight into the ground, teaching him to shut up, And that's what is missing from these guys.
Big Stat Kelly. Big Stat Kelly's in the house. He's an LSU guy. Says all he knows is Matt Campbell's the head coach and Brock Purdy went to Iowa State. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got all of 15 years of relevant history. Big Stack. They were just talking smack about the SEC and talking about how the guy said that they were significantly better than the SEC now, and yet they only had one team make the playoffs. So LSU is probably doubled them up in 10-win seasons. So I mean, it's just crazy that he would say that. I just couldn't believe he said it.
It's asinine. Again, I challenge anyone to find any. It's first of all, I think it's going to be hard to find any statistic in college football where the SEC is not better than the Big 12. Any statistic, but certainly any relevant statistic. So again, if they produce more kickers, okay, whatever. That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I'm talking about meaningful statistics that the Big 12 has outperformed any other conference, not much less the SEC, anyone else.
When they played,
if they did, it's going to be on the backs of either Oklahoma or Texas. It's going to be something like Heisman winners, and it's going to be because they were all from OU and Texas or something like that.
Well, since Texas and Oklahoma's been gone or not been in the big bowl picture for the Big 12, they've played the SEC 3 times in meaningful games, and they're 0-3, man. I mean, we basically embarrassed them that one year where Georgia beat TCU like a homecoming opponent, and Alabama did the same thing to Kansas State.
Yeah, dude. Beat them down like they stole something from them.
If it's a game that matters to the SEC, more than likely they're going to show up and they're going to beat the shit out of them. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I mean,
y'all still had Oklahoma and Texas, but y'all don't.
At the end of the day,
Texas and Oklahoma got tired of carrying the weight.
That's a fact. At the end of the day, when you have a sample size this big, we've got over 100 years of college football. Well over 100 years of college football. You can always go pick out one data point in any sample set that's gonna disprove the general trend or and so you got to look at things overall. So I got no interest in what you think about any one team in any one particular year. When you look at the history of college football, Baylor and Iowa State, dude, they're not even in they're not in the book. No one is they don't have any football history that is relevant enough to be mentioned.
I never will. And like I said, the Big Ten is the only conference that can make any kind of valid argument that they're as good as the SEC. And even they pale in comparison in national titles. The SEC's got 15, Big Ten's got, I think, 3 or 4 this century. So,
I mean, take away all the players from OU and Texas over the years. Take those players out. Now, who's your best player from the Big 12? RG3? I mean, is that the best player you got in the Big 12 when you take Oklahoma and Texas out of it? Probably so. You know, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and here's what's going to happen. We just talked about it. When the Big Ten and the SEC decide, you know what, we want to make this thing just a 2-team league. If they decide to do it, and I hope they don't, because I like the parity. I like the, different venues and people having a Cinderella story. I don't mind that. But, when you get on here and start running your mouth about my team and Killer Breeze's team, we have to fight back a little bit. But if the Big Ten and the SEC ever decide to, like I said earlier, take the ball and go home, it's going to be over. They're going to, like you said, they're going to cherry pick the Big 12 and the ACC, and those other ones are going to be left out and either have to form their own league or they're going to have to drop down to Division II.
That's yeah, that's right.
And if it happened today, I venture to say that if we're picking players on the schoolyard, we're out there picking teams in the schoolyard, the Big Ten and the SEC are not going to pick Iowa State or Baylor. They're going to be left out. Y'all going to be ass out, man. No, I'm not doing that to troll. I'm not doing that to aggravate. I'm doing that telling you that's a fact, Jack. That's a fact. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, in terms of football programs, they probably try to pull Clemson, Florida State, and Miami. Don't you think they would go after those 3? They would go after North Carolina and Kansas for the basketball, I think. Notre Dame. And that might be it.
Is there any Big 12 that has anything to offer?
Is there anybody else?
I mean, Texas Tech's got big money. They may be able to get themselves into the SEC one day. I don't know.
SMU.
SMU, they got Dallas.
They got money.
They got Dallas. TCU's going to get left out.
No, 100%.
Their stadium's too small.
I think unfortunately, Iowa State, maybe Iowa. No, Iowa's in the Big Ten, but Iowa State, Arizona State, Arizona, all those teams, Utah, they're not. I can't see those teams getting in.
Utah thinks they're going to get in the Big Ten. They've been saying that shit. Well, I'm like, I guess Salt Lake City is a pretty big city, but I don't know, man. It's going to be cutting it close. You're going to be on the line there. But I see the SEC and the Big Ten might take 4 teams apiece out of those 2 conferences.
That's what I'm saying. There's not going to be that many more that
more of them would probably come from the ACC. They'll probably pick more out of the ACC than they will the Big 12.
Yeah, because I mean, really, man, it already is at a point now where if you just combined, in my opinion, if you just combine the Big 10 and the SEC, just right there, you've already made it really hard to win a national championship. So adding more good football programs like the Clemsons and the Florida States, you're just making it harder and harder. You know what I mean? So I just don't know how many more teams they really need now they might again try to beef up the basketball and to pull some schools like for that reason. But
like Big Stat Kelly,
how much bigger do you really think it's going to get? It's going to be about what, 40, 45 teams?
Yeah, Big Stat Kelly said the SEC might get Arizona and Kansas, but I mean Arizona would be for basketball. They did that.
That's true. I forgot about that. So yeah, Arizona, okay, but Arizona State's not getting in.
They got good basketball. Arizona State, not so much. So
no.
But my point is, because they're the target tonight. Baylor and Iowa State's not getting in either conference. The Big Ten or the SEC.
I totally agree.
But we already got 2 teams in Texas. And if we're going to get another team, it's going to have to be someone that's a little further away from them, like Lubbock, like Texas Tech. And they might consider Oklahoma State.
Well, Oklahoma State's going to have to prove that they're a lot more consistent. That's the problem, man. And, they used to be good in basketball. They had a really good run in basketball, and they just dropped the ball, across the board in Stillwater.
Barry Troy-Wickey's in the house. He said he loved the short video I did on Nebraska today. Yeah, I forgot to put the hashtags on it. The hashtags, when you put it in the description, if y'all are thinking about starting your podcast or a channel, you need to put hashtags in the description at the end of your description. If you don't, they don't push out as hard. And you're allowed 3 hashtags. And I forgot to put my hashtags on there, but I did go back in there about 30 minutes after the video started and put some Nebraska hashtags. So maybe I've gotten some more traffic on the Nebraska video by now. I think I'm going to try to. I would love for Nebraska to come to the SEC. I really would.
I like Nebraska. Yeah, that's another one. I think, yeah, you definitely bring Nebraska in.
Right,
hopefully, they're on their way back, man. With Rule, I'm very curious to see what they look like this year.
I hope for them, for their sake. I think what they did, man, was the Big Ten at first was looking at Missouri, and they was going to take Missouri. And then Nebraska got wind of it, and Nebraska took Missouri's spot. And so the SEC come up there and took Missouri, to try to get into that St. Louis market up there, Kansas City.
Yeah.
And it should have been the other way around. Nebraska should let Missouri join the Big Ten, and they should join the SEC.
I agree.
And they would have been a lot better off because their recruiting base is down in Texas. A lot of Texas kids and their parents don't want their kids playing games in Rutgers and Maryland.
Well, that's what I was about to say. It just would have been, man, I just being a school in the SEC gives you probably an advantage, over everybody else just because kids want to play in the SEC. So Nebraska absolutely would have had better recruiting just by being a member of the SEC, in my opinion.
Changing subject just for a second here. Have you heard about the green dildos in WNBA?
Well, we are talking about a couple of dildos when we're talking about Drake Toole and Nick Muppets. So let's segue into the green dildo.
That's right. Have you heard about it?
Yeah. I've heard about it.
It happened. Someone threw a damn green dildo on the court, and now it's caused this fad, this madness across WNBA arenas everywhere. I think they've had 4 or 5 incidents now of green dildos being thrown on the court.
It's awesome.
So I'm gonna bring it up real quick, and then I'm gonna ask you why you think people started doing this. What do you think the gist of it was?
Oh, I have an idea.
Yeah, me too.
That you understand. So WNBA right now is experiencing dildo gate.
And you can see the object, the block right there. The object comes, that green thing bounces.
That green thing.
It's the green dildo. It's like their Detroit
exactly
Red Wings octopus.
I'm not sure where it came from.
Hold up, stoppage for another dildo.
Got a whistle away from the basketball.
So it's been going on quite a bit, and just in case you haven't been taking women's sports seriously,
I haven't.
Last Friday, Sophie Cunningham, who's in the she tweeted this out. She said, "Stop throwing dildos on the court. You're going to hurt one of us." And then late last night, after another one happened, she actually responded to her own expo saying, "This did not age well." And here's the video as to why.
Before halftime. Oh, look out. Something just came onto the floor.
Bad choice of wording.
Just flew in as the free throw was being...
They're always kicking it. No one wants to pick it up.
No.
It looked like that hit a player, too.
They don't like penises in the WNBA, Josh. Come on.
I'm surprised.
Well, I mean,
obvious
who
reasons
wants
for that.
Ew, penis. Someone coming out with a hat.
But that's just a little that's just a little sample of Dildo Gate.
Well, finally.
Why do you think this started? Now, I know the other people are throwing out there now just doing it as a fad, but the initial dildo, it's hard for me to do this seriously. Why do you think someone would throw a dildo on the court? Why would they do that?
Well, I think when the product on the court is making you want to fall asleep, what's the best way to draw a little attention to the action on the court is to throw a green dildo. I think that's what's going on. Finally, we have a reason to talk about the WNBA because it certainly ain't because of watching Angel Reese. Bang! We're not watching Angel Reese throw up, air balls, giving herself me bounds.
Let me tell you why I think they've done it.
It's a horrible product, dude. Other than when Caitlin Clark is playing, I know nobody wants to say it. I'm gonna say it. She's the only interesting thing in women's basketball. She is good. She is fun to watch. And outside of that, yeah,
Well, let
green
me tell you
dildos are more newsworthy.
Let me tell you why I think they started doing it. You remember they wore those shirts that says "Pay us what we're worth" or "Pay us what you owe us." That kind of deal.
Yeah.
The WNBA before Caitlin Clark was losing money, millions of dollars for 20 plus years. It's just been propped up by the NBA.
Yeah.
If you or I was working for a company that was losing millions of dollars, that company would probably no longer employ us because it wouldn't be around. But they have the NBA propping them up. And the person that threw this dildo on the court said, "All right, we're going to pay y'all what you're worth. You're worth dick. That's what you're worth." And so they threw a dick on the court. That's what I think happened here.
Well,
how can you complain about what you're making when your product is making no money?
Well, that's the thing, man. The NBA has been supplementing this league since its inception. They've never been able to stand on their own without the influx of cash from the NBA. Man, they're just a virtue signaling tool. That's all it is, man. I mean, really, the whole thing is just to prop up women's sports. Nobody wants to watch the games again.
Well, they finally started.
Like you just mentioned, Caitlin Clark single-handedly raised the interest because it was just that bad. And when she's not playing, by the way, the viewership drops way down.
Well, they finally get a star they can get behind, and then they start abusing her and just attacking her.
Well,
she's somebody that could pull them up out of the doldrums, and they might start getting paid more if they wouldn't shit on her just because she's white. They can say what they want, man, but it's all about her being white. That's all it is.
No, it is. It's the defining characteristic of the movement on the left. They cannibalize each other. No one is safe. You can't be perfect enough. So eventually you too will be eaten. And they just can't help themselves. The fact of the matter is they are too addicted to the racism narrative and the white man keeping me down narrative. They're too addicted to it, and they're biting the hand that feeds them. They finally get a star who raises the status of the league and the money of the league, and instead of propping her up, they beat her down on a regular basis, dude. I mean, they just, it's blatant.
It'll be blatant fouls too, and they won't call them.
That's what I'm saying. It's there's no question about it. They're beating her down, man.
And then she done it to herself. Caitlin Clark sort of done it to herself because she wore one of those shirts. And I'm like, really?
Well, that's the sickness of the left too, because Caitlin Clark, instead of standing up for herself, you know, when they're treating her like this, instead she kowtows to the narrative herself.
Exactly.
And tries to talk about how they are, don't get on them. They've been wrong for so long, and we're finally. It's just like, Caitlin, shut now. You're doing the same damn thing. You're now biting the hand that feeds you, Caitlin. You got all these fans that are propping you up and making it possible for you to live like you're a male athlete. And that's what it is. That's a fact. And instead of being thankful, you want to spit in the eye of a lot of your own fans. Probably most of your fans, to be quite frank. I'm sure most of her fans are not colored. I'm sure most of her fans are white as the pure driven snow, you know. And
well, she had a chance to prop this league based on talent, not because she's white, not because they're black. And like Big Stat Kelly said, she bowed the knee to the lesbians and the DEI and the whole pay us more kind of deal.
Yeah, it was very disappointing, man.
You had a chance to step up and take them out of this, and instead you rolled over, just like Mike Gundy did with Chubba Hubba. I mean, stand up for yourself, Mike. If you want to wear an OAN shirt, you should be able to. If they can wear a BLM shirt, you should be able to wear an OAN shirt, right?
Absolutely. But Caitlin's afraid. She knows what will happen if she doesn't go along, even though she's getting her ass kicked.
It's easy for us to say here, you know, because she is outnumbered.
Yeah.
They let this league get infected by a bunch of, to me, reverse racist lesbians. So.
Right, yeah. Imagine how bad they'd be beating her ass every night if she actually stood up to them. It'd be even worse. You know? She's already, like Shane Gillis said, she's already fist fighting black girls on a nightly basis as it is.
Oh, that shit was awesome. Was that not awesome? Oh, Gillis, he got him good, man.
It was reminiscent of Norm Macdonald.
Look, man, they really mad at him because he pointed to a black woman in the audience and said it was WNBA.
I saw it.
They all clapped like and he's like, see, y'all don't know who WNBA players are either.
Yeah. That's his buddy. That's his buddy's wife. That's that guy that he does that podcast with. That's his wife. So, you know, it was. And
they can't admit it's funny when it's funny.
No. It was. I mean, have you ever seen? Go back and if you haven't seen it in a while, go look at when Norm Macdonald did the ESPYs. It was the same thing, dude. It was hilarious, but he was brutal.
Did he die?
Yeah, he's dead now.
I couldn't remember.
And Shane Gillis actually did a tribute to Norm Macdonald at the very end. He repeated one of Norm's funniest jokes at that ESPYs. But yeah, Shane Gillis was amazing, dude. It was awesome to see it.
You're not seeing the chats in the chat. The last two you highlighted, I can't see them. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, they wanted people to pay them what they're worth, and so people are throwing green dildos in the court.
Yeah. Finally, a reason to talk about the WNBA.
I would seriously like for me and you to go to a WNBA game and get a couple of dildos and sling them out there on the court. I wouldn't give a shit if I got banned or not, man. And who was it? There was somebody. Oh, Clay Travis was saying that he's got a buddy. You know, they went to Vanderbilt together. He's a lawyer, and he said that he's going to get the guy a lawyer. The initial guy, the first dildo thrower, they're going to get him a lawyer and lawyer him up, you know, to help him out, so they can't, you know, prosecute him. Trying to prosecute him for trespassing. I'm like, how are you trespassing if you got a ticket to the game?
Well, I think trespassing will basically just mean that he would be banned from coming back. So he won't get fined or anything because he's not going to get like a disorderly conduct. It sounds like.
Can you see the comments when I'm pulling them up?
I can see the comments
because something's wrong with NIL commissions. Because I tried to comment on his thing last night and it wouldn't show my comments. So I don't know. Maybe it's a problem with Discord or something.
Taking this. Here we go. Here we go with the Discord versus StreamYard.
I can't even say that shit with a straight face, man. I'm just messing with you, man. I like Discord.
Tell him NIL. Tell him. Tell him what's up.
I'm just messing with him. He gets wired. He's passionate about that Discord.
Well, he's good at it. I mean, I give it to him. He's got a good looking show.
Did you hear that new song you made for me?
I don't think I did.
Me and him got together and we done a song with AI. He didn't sing it, but we got together and collaborated, and I got a new song now.
Oh, which one is it?
It's called The Outlaw of College Football. It's yeah, I have to send it to you.
Play the song. Can you play it on the show right now?
It's actually got words to it. I might be able to bring it up. Let me see if I can bring it up for you real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, from NIL Commish, The Outlaw.
Let me find it real quick. See if I can find it.
I've heard, he's got quite a few of those now. It's pretty cool stuff. He's pretty slick.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Stupid ass commercial. See if this is on here. I don't know if it's on this one or not. This might be it right here. You keep them busy for me.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to actually hear the song myself, because I've heard a couple of them now. He's done. He did his review of the teams in the SEC, and he did a song for each one of the teams. It was pretty good stuff.
All right. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Big Stack Kelly is making it sound like we got Big Brother who's messing with the chats across social platforms. Is that what you're saying, Big Stack? Michael, that would be 0. Baylor has a whopping 0 national championships. Baylor's not a national champion of. They've got a basketball national championship. They do have that, but that's about it.
Can you see that?
I can see it.
All right. Let's see if I can turn it up.
Born and bred in Tuscaloosa, not raised in Baton Rouge. Didn't ride no wagon train to Norman or to Boone. They said I'd never make it, just a name they'd overlook. Now I'm burning up their game plans and ripping up their books. No 5-star shine, no silver spoon. I came up crying on a Friday night moves. Now they feel me coming like a 4th down blitz. Got them talking sideways, throwing fits. But I must admit, I can't quit. 'Cause I'm the outlaw of college football. Ain't no stripes can hold me back.
That's just a clip. Did you hear it?
That was awesome, man. That was awesome.
That's just a clip. That wasn't the whole song. That wasn't the whole song.
You ought to pin the link to that song, that video in the chat, in the comments section, so people can go see the song.
Yeah, I did put the song up on the on one of the videos, I think. I have to look.
Thunder says they need to start throwing dildos at Brittany Griner. Yeah, it makes me sick that what we did to bring her back to the United States, man. What we gave up to bring her back, and she's not grateful for it at all.
I don't know if you throw a dildo at her, she's already got a penis. Probably she's probably transgender. I'll be honest with you. I ain't saying it to be funny.
She sounds like a dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I don't know if they can put a prosthetic penis on somebody or not, but if she had one, she'd probably be one of the first ones to have it.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You poor guys are pretty slick yourselves. How we slick? What we do?
Well, I said he was that NIL's songs were pretty slick.
Yeah.
Well, man, I think I might need a run, dude.
All right, brother. Yeah, I'm fixing to get up out of here myself.
I had fun tonight, man. I appreciate everybody letting me vent. I think the point was proven well tonight that Drake Tool and Nick Muppets need to find something else to talk about. How about this, Outlaw? Let's say this. If Drake Tool and Nick Muppets would like to debate the likes of Killer and the Outlaw, let's extend the invitation to old Drake Tool and Nick Muppets, and let's see if they would like to debate the merits of whether or not the Big 12 is now, ever has been, or ever will be better than the SEC.
Yeah, y'all go over there to Twitter and hit them up on there. Just go in there and raid their Twitter and ask them or let them know about this video. Link them the video. And
I think you need to title the video Challenge Extended to Nick Tool, Drake Tool, and Nick Muppets.
I'll be honest with you, at the beginning of the show, man, I started getting riled up again. I started stuttering and shit. I got a little pissed off about it. I'll be honest. It aggravates me that they would say shit like that, and there's people out there that actually believe them.
That's the problem.
Me mad. It makes me mad because they're spreading shit that's not true, and they don't even know it's not true.
Right now, there's some dorks in Waco and nerds in Ames that are going, see, guys, Drake Tool just said that I told y'all the Big 12 was better than the SEC. That's what's happening right now in Waco and Ames. And
Big 12,
it pisses me off.
They've won a lot more bowl games and playoff games.
Yeah.
Even though they've never won a playoff game. Big 12's never won a playoff game, have they?
They have. They TCU.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Michigan messed up and let them win.
Yeah.
Dang, I forgot all about that shit. I guess when you get blew out 65-7, you forget all the goodwill from your season, man. When you get treated like a damn.
Didn't Texas win their first game last year?
Yeah, you're probably right. Well, Texas was in the SEC, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Never mind. Yeah.
We thought it was.
I think TCU is the only one.
It was probably TCU.
And then they won the playoff game, and then they proceeded to get hammered in the final. I mean, at an embarrassing, historic level.
I don't think I took it down. I might have put it on members only. I can't remember. I have to go see. There's an actual video that plays the whole song.
Yeah, you got to put that up, dude.
I think it's up. It's on there.
You got to make it public.
I think it is public, but he don't see it, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
I'll go look for it. All right, boss. I'll be in touch, man.
All right, we'll check you later.
Thanks, bro.
All right, later. That was Killer Breeze, the consummate Oklahoma roughneck in the house. And we had a little fun night through to uneducated college football locked on sport wannabes on the grill. And then we talked about the green dildo fiasco. Anything else y'all want to talk about tonight before I get out of here? Drop in the comment section down there. Hell, if you want to be on the show, I might even let you come up in here for a little while. I'd kill about 15 more minutes maybe. If anybody wants to come in here and be on the show, talk about something that's pissed you off or something that didn't piss you off that you might want to say to piss somebody off. Who are those clowns? Those clowns are from Locked On Sports, and they're pretty idiotic. Locked On Sports and the voice of college football, these supposed networks. They're not really networks. They're just people that have created like 2,000 channels. And so it makes them look like they're bigger than they really are. They're just a bunch of YouTube channels. And a lot of them don't really know what you're talking about. A lot of them don't know the facts or the stats. They just come on there and start saying shit. Like the guy from Iowa State. So, to find someone that's actually locked on Iowa State was probably pretty hard. So they had slim pickings, so they had to pick that idiot. It's called Locked On Big 12. Locked On Big 12, Big Stack Kelly. They got Locked On Big 12, Locked On SEC, Locked On Alabama, Locked On LSU, Locked On Slippery Rock, everything. It's locked on. And they got different podcasters doing it. All right. Well, if y'all ain't got nothing else you want to talk about, I'm going to get up out of here. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you want to get a badge and get deputized like Big Stack Kelly and Killer Breeze and others that were in here tonight, it's $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. You get a badge, you get deputized, get an actual random 4 horseman shout out on the actual podcast, as well as possibly be the comment of the day. I think I watched a little bit of the first episode, Big Stack Kelly. KMCA to all the other teams, and especially Locked On Sports. Class is now dismissed.